Hi, Kayleen. Thank you so much for being a student of integrity and getting me your recording on time. I really appreciate it. And congratulations, you really, really improved those rhythms. In fact, 5, 6, measure 7, the measure, right, is completely correct today. So well done. I can't wait to talk to you and hear about kind of your process and what made the change for you, how it helped. In measure 8, I didn't always hear the G to F. I didn't hear those two notes, so I'm not sure where they were placed or how they were doing. Just make sure they're at least audible, okay? But as far as like, being able to flow into the next measure and tempo, like it's all there now. So that's really good. That's really, really good. And overall, like having that picture connecting with you with the idea of cross country and what's going on in each section, I think that's really starting to bring this to come to life. I'm going to give you some ideas, some things that you can add to this even in the next few days before you record that can make this even more lively, more full of music and beauty, okay? So a couple of just general comments. One, keep checking in with your left hand. Make sure the balance is there. Make sure your left hand is always quieter than the right. And you can see, I guess they don't really have a dynamic profile at the beginning for each of the two hands, but maybe think of your right hand more as like forte or mezzo forte, and your left hand is more like piano. So piano. I mean, like the difference should be about 2 dynamic levels between the hands, okay? And practice that by just ghosting your left hand. Where you actually don't make a sound with your left hand. You do nothing, but you're just moving it. Just to help your brain really disconnect the 2 hands. And then gradually, just barely bring your left hand in. Okay, and then bring it from there and kind of mess with it. Also, your pedaling is great. I can hear that you're lifting on beat 2. That's awesome. I would say don't over staccato beats 2 and 3. I would say still keep them closer to the legato side of things than the non-legato. Okay, so I'm keeping my hand close to the keys for those 2. And then right hand today, sometimes I heard some disconnects, some non-legato in places where there's very clearly slurs marked. So make sure just to take a second and play your right hand alone and look at your music, see where those slurs are. Most of this song is indeed legato, okay? We've got those really important beat 1s, but the rest of it should be beautiful and smooth. Okay, so you can kind of hear that. So I heard that specifically, yeah, like I said, measure 1, measure 2, and then measure 5 and 6, watch out. Those half notes, do hold them for their full value. Today I heard some staccatos on those 2. And I haven't heard that before, so that might have been a bit of a fluke. I just wanted to draw your attention to it, okay? Let's see here. Another big picture thing is I want to hear more dynamic contrast in this. So most of the time when we're doing those things, they're decrescendoing, right? Okay, so you can kind of hear I did some highs and lows, some hills and valleys in there. So here's what I'm thinking is anytime you've got a crescendo, I need you to start it quieter, okay? Start ground zero, maybe just like your standard procedures. Okay, what will it start what will sound like if I start my crescendo at a piano, even if I was already at a mezzo forte, like suddenly change to piano and then crescendo to forte. And then adjust from there and say, okay, well, piano, maybe it should be only piano to mezzo forte. It doesn't have to be super dramatic. But anyway, start your crescendos quieter and and get to the climax to be bigger. So like here. that's forte, right? But start here at a much quieter tempo, so it just is a big whoosh. And then come right back down. Right? So this is right. This piece is all about balance. We kind of cut loose and have a lot of fun, and then kind of rein it in after that. Okay. And then something I was thinking about when you do this second phrase. Think about this as a bit longer term phrase. And this is going to be kind of strange. Imagine that this section, this part of the section starts at measure 7. That's a start, okay? Maybe you had to run a little loop in this cross country picture and you got back to the starting line here. Okay, and once you start at measure 7, try to keep the idea, the musical concept going all the way through 8, all the way to measure 9, 10, 11, and then your end point is measure 12. Does that make sense? So once you get to, it's like things aren't over. Even though it kind of sounds like a cadence there or an ending point, it's not. You just got to keep thinking ahead, not pushing, not speeding up or anything, but just kind of thinking ahead. Okay, so you kind of hear how I'm doing that. And did you hear how by holding those half notes in 9 and 10, now you hear them accented, right? And it's almost like I'm emphasizing these pseudo wrong notes that we're playing. We kind of talked about how shouldn't it be that? What if it was this? In measure 9 and 10, I'm substituting different notes for those half notes, that sound more nice and natural. Instead he puts that E natural in there. We got to bring that out. It's fun. It's like being able to play a wrong note on purpose and being okay with it. Okay, cool. So there's some ideas in there. Congratulations, you remembered, measure 21, 22, 23, 24, and you had forgotten those last time I heard this. So that's really good. Let's go to the flatland. Okay, more legato here in the right hand. Okay, and then just like in this idea of cross country, the profile of this has totally changed. The character has changed. Can you be more elegant, more lovely in this section? Okay, so I know this is kind of weird, but think about if you're running on this flatland, but you're also somehow running in a dress. Okay, I know it's not possible, but just think that you have to change character to a character who this character, she always wears dresses, she always does lovely things, and every movement she makes is just the most beautiful thing, and she would never do anything, like run around or like laugh too loudly or have too much fun like the character in the first section in the A section does. I mean, that lady, she is just having a ball, right? So you got to be a little more formal in this section. Think of your right hand leading the way with it. Okay, so a lot of flexible wrists. You can see my arm is just like a noodle over here, and I'm really crafting and shaping this gorgeous little line. Okay, and bringing out again these crescendos, diminuendos, contour, or the direction of the line. So as you get louder or get higher, get louder, and then as your music turns downward, get quieter. Okay, so it's like this, starting a bit quiet. Ramp it up here, then come down again, then in louder. Okay, so you kind of heard how I did that. Re-listen to any of this if you need to. Hey, in 29, something we haven't done anything with that can be really fun to do is the stretto in 29. And stretto is another word for accelerando or speed up a little bit. Just think of the word rush it a little, okay? Again, I'm giving you permission to do stuff that we never get to do on purpose. So when you get to 29, let your tempo speed up. And then you balance it out with the poco rallentando in measure 32, right? So it's that idea of balance, right? Fast and then balanced with some slow. And then that pause in measure 33 or 32. And then back to a tempo again, okay? So I'm going to play the B section as best I can with the expression that I'm looking for, okay? Okay, so you can hear a big difference in there. Have fun with that. Okay, we're back to the opening stuff. Man, I always mess up that part. Isn't that hard? Oh, anyway. Again, remember your goal, your stopping point isn't until the trill, okay? That's your finish line. So be careful that you don't start to slow down on the G on beat 1. Go all the way through the finish line. At least that's what my coach always said. Run through the finish line, run past it, right? Okay. And you can have more liberty to go to speed up in that section. Today, I appreciate what you needed to do. You needed to keep a steady beat the last few days to fix those rhythms. You can go back now to the rubato that you had been playing for me the last couple of lessons, where you start this a bit slower and then really ramp up your speed and then slow down, and have fun with that, okay? Okay, do what I did expression-wise there. Just don't make all those note mistakes. Ugh. Okay, we're back. Now we're to this C section. I love what you do. And today I heard a definite change at 49 to a quieter sound. Way to go! Rock star. Okay, so we're going to throw something in that's going to be really fun now. Everything here is normal. When you get over here to 49, quieter. Did I paused, or I gave a little more time to my beat 1s, and then instead of making those 16th notes as snappy as I've done them before, I kind of let them get a little ooey gooey, huh? So that's the rubato we might want to add. And then we're back to normal again, okay? Experiment with that. Listen to how I did that. Maybe repeat it a few times, and do as much as you're comfortable with. Again, everything I'm showing here today is going to make your performance go from really good to potentially amazing, okay? But I also don't want you to feel super stressed out about it and end up going overboard and causing yourself to play maybe worse than you've been playing before, because we are getting close to that performance, right? Anyway. Okay, 53, we're back to tempo. Okay, dynamics in there, dynamics, and then the end. Today I heard you go and make it more of a staccato. I think it should have some length there. It is a fermata quarter. Maybe you can think of it as a 2 and a half. 1, 2. So we're coming into it. 2. And off like that, okay? So it doesn't really have, that last note doesn't really have time to kind of get quieter because you're holding it too long, but it does have time to go, yes, we're done, okay? And really make a mark on that. All right, here's what I want you to do, Kayleen. Could you work on these things, and then send me another recording, please. You've got the weekend. How about Sunday night? How about you try that? And here's why. I've suggested quite a few things. And pieces like this, we can always do that. So I would love to hear you on Sunday night, just to make sure that what I've told you, like I said, isn't causing you to play worse than you've been playing before, okay? That one last check-in will help me prepare you then on Tuesday, that we can come in and basically sit down and record and not have to make any last-minute changes or anything, okay? So thank you so much for doing that. And I hope that these recordings for me, that you're making for me, are also helping you. Make sure you listen to yourself. It's really humbling, but you can learn so much from it, okay? Have a great weekend.